There we go. That would do it. Greetings, gang. We're here. Okay. I came in about 2 minutes early because we're going to have polls closed in just a minute. So let's see if we get a 5x5 or we got any delays. Whole 9 yards here. All right. Krista says 5x5. So there's a good start. Motimer, Jacob, fastball, Flint McCrock. Let's get a few more. See if it flips through. Okay, then Circe, addicted to learning, Jeep militia, and then it got crazy. Okay. Are you glad we're finally at this point, guys? Because I know I am. This has been like the most exhausting and anxiety-driven fall that I can imagine. And finally, we are here to figure out whether we wake up tomorrow morning in the United States of America or the United Socialist States of America. I'm going to try to keep this relatively nonpartisan tonight, okay? Obviously, you know which way I'm voting. If you've watched this channel for more than 30 seconds, you know who I support. But I'm not, and if you've watched my videos lately, you know I'm not one of these people that gets into the, oh my God, we've got it in a bag, all this sort of stuff, okay? God knows how long I've been screaming about get out and vote, get out and vote, get out and vote. So as I sit here, I've got 3 computers in front of me. Thank God I saved my old computers. You know, they don't work the greatest anymore, but at least I can get something on them. So I've got Fox on one side, I've got CNN on the other side. So I want to see both sides and how they are reporting things. Now, obviously, I don't have the volume up because that would make total disaster, but I can see what they're reporting and as they're calling. So tonight's going to be a little different than normal. We're going to stick pretty much to the election, right? I'm not going to be taking questions on gardening or radios or anything like that. But I want this to be a two-way conversation. And so as you guys, especially those of you who live in swing states, if you have any questions or any comments that you want to share or want my thoughts on, please put those in all caps, okay? Those I'll go through. As per normal, the only rule on this channel is you treat everybody civilly, okay? Even if somebody comes in here and they're a Kamala Harris supporter, that's fine. I know 99% of us are supporting Trump in here. As long as they are polite, they are welcome. If they are rude, they will get tossed, just like anybody who's rude to one of them would be. I don't care about saying nasty things about Kamala Harris. I don't care about saying nasty things about Donald Trump. But God help the person that says a nasty thing about any one of you or of me. Okay? We are not public figures. They are. We didn't sign up to be berated. All right. So as we are getting to 8 o'clock here, and just so you guys have an idea what's going on already, and I'm betting a lot of you are probably watching on TV, we've already had half a dozen polls close. Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, and South Carolina have already been called for Donald Trump. Vermont, no big surprise, already called for Kamala Harris. The one Senate race that's already been called is Jim Justice has won West Virginia. So the Republicans are up 1 in the Senate right now. As we've now hit 8 o'clock, Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Illinois, Michigan, Missouri, and Oklahoma have now closed the polls. Now, in parts of North Dakota, parts of South Dakota, most of Kansas, and most of Texas, the polls are closed too, but not all of them, so we won't hear anything. So what I want to show you is this, and I'm going to be doing this throughout the night so we can see the whole 9 yards. So you guys can see. And obviously, oh, they've called Florida. Good. Okay. So as you can see here, what we've got, No big surprises as of yet. All right, at 8 o'clock, with all those states being called, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Missouri, Oklahoma, all called red. Illinois called blue. Be interesting. I want to show you something on Illinois, and they probably don't even have it yet. Okay, but nope, they don't. I will bet you that this area right here, and this is Cook County, DuPage County, Will County, et cetera, et cetera. This is all around Chicago, right up here on the lake. That spot right there, if you can see my arrow, that's Lake Michigan. This is going to be all blue, and right down in here around St. Louis will be blue. The rest of the state will be red. That's what we're going to wind up having. Now, where this gets interesting, and I'm glad they called Florida already, I want you to take a look at something here. Here's Georgia. And if you see right now, Trump is up by 13 points at just about 35% in. Sounds great. It's like, okay, Trump's up huge. He's going to win, until we take a look at the counties and we go right in here, which is where Atlanta is, and we don't have any numbers. Okay. I'll give you the same idea if I look at North Carolina and you go, holy crap, we're in trouble. Kamala Harris is winning North Carolina. Granted, it's only about 6% in, but let's take a look at this. This area, if I drew a line right here, okay, everything to the left of the line here is pretty much what got whacked by the hurricane, but is also going to be solid red by the end of the night, except for this county right here. Okay, I believe that's the county, and that is where Asheville is. That's your one blue dot in the center of all the sea of red. Over here, a lot of these are going to turn red. Not everything, but you're looking at around Raleigh, Durham, and around Charlotte. Those will stay blue. A lot of the rest of it will stay red. So that is way too early to even consider. Now, this is the fun one, and this is what I've been telling people. New Hampshire. I want you guys to think about this for a second and go look at it. I posted this on Twitter today. If Trump can pull off New Hampshire, which is possible, okay? Now, when I lived in New Hampshire, I lived right in here, okay? Well, actually, I lived both in Stafford and Rockingham counties, okay? University of New Hampshire is right in here. This is Manchester. This is the capital. This is everything this is the big city. If Trump can pull off New Hampshire, Kamala Harris does not even win if she takes all three states in the blue wall. The key early state to this whole thing is New Hampshire. If Trump wins New Hampshire and everything else falls in the way it should, okay, no surprises, and Kamala Harris wins Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, she'd have 266 electoral votes. So would Donald Trump, which would mean at that point, Nevada is the kingmaker with their 6 electoral votes, and whoever won Nevada would be president. And Nevada said it might take us 2 weeks to call the election. So this is how goofy we got. No surprises as of yet. If we look at Virginia, now let's back up for a second there. If we look at Virginia as a whole, okay, 52 roughly to 46 roughly with 26% in. That ain't good for Kamala Harris. She should be winning that state much bigger. Now, North Carolina, where she's up 56 to 43, 7% in. Both of those states could flip. Not saying they're going to. I don't expect it. But I said to you guys earlier this morning, if New Hampshire didn't call quickly and Virginia didn't call quickly, that's bad news for Kamala Harris. because that means that she's not getting the black votes. Just don't, not New Hampshire. New Hampshire is almost so white, it's ridiculous. But I already explained it. If she doesn't, if Virginia doesn't get called quickly, she's not getting the black vote. We look at Georgia. She's getting crushed right now. We got 36% in. She's down by 14 points. And this was a swing state. Granted, we got Atlanta. But she's exit polling about 7 points behind Joe Biden in Georgia. And remember, Biden barely squeaked by. So this is what we've got going on. I mean, I've been sitting here with 3 computers watching God knows what here since 6 o'clock, trying to pay attention to everything. But very, very, very interesting. Yeah. So we are going to sweat this whole thing out. It's already not looking to be the landslide that so many optimists are calling. We don't know yet. It's still early. I mean, it's, what time is it? 10 after 8 or 10 after 8 Eastern time. I mean, we barely get across the Mississippi at this point. But I want to know what you guys are seeing. Okay. What were some of your experiences at the polls today? I mean, when you're talking to people, I mean, I talked over lunch about the discrepancies with the machines don't work. If you guys heard about Milwaukee, go figure. Blue City in a swing state. Oh my God, we didn't have all the machines set up correctly. We've got to rerun all the ballots. I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're going to rerun all the ballots, or are you going to recount them for the second time? That's that. So tell me what you guys have going on. So let's see here. And again, if you got things for me, put it in all caps, because I'm just going to scroll through. And my eyes aren't great, but I can find caps. Okay. Addicted to Learning says North Carolina's leaning Democrat and Georgia's leaning Republican. But like I just said, it's way too freaking early to pick out any of that. And would you believe I just had a computer that died? Go figure. Oh, good thing it was my CNN computer. Who knows? Let's see if we can try this again. It's plugged in too. This is a real old computer. Now, maybe it's not going to work. Yep. That one's dead. Okay. Let's try to restart it and see if it even comes up. Yeah, that computer bit the dust. Okay. Good. It's a good thing it wasn't one of the ones that I'm worried about. All right. DH. Bomb threats in 3 Pennsylvania county polling places. They're moving ballots from the convention center to a garage. Yeah, interesting, because I believe we also heard that in Georgia, I think it was, where 5 different voting precincts had a bomb threat called in, and Secretary of State Raffensperger, it was Russia. About 2 hours later, it turns out, it was a Democrat poll worker who tried to pin it on a voter. Yeah. Again, we're going to go into the same thing of they're going to try to cheat. It may not necessarily, and I want to qualify this. It may not be the campaign this time, but the Harris-Walz campaign has done so much with their vitriol, with their, he's Hitler, he's a fascist, he wants to assassinate Liz Cheney, all the lies. I mean, Joe Scarborough this morning was hilarious with, I could go on forever. And I'm listening to something and go, yeah, you just listed about 7 things that never happened, okay, factually. And he goes, these are all facts. I'm like, prove one, Joe. Give me the facts for one, and don't quote yourself. Of course, I never got a response. But the whole thing. I mean, 2 assassination attempts. Believe it if you want. You know, say that Joe Biden was involved. Say the Secret Service or the CIA was involved. Who knows? Possible. Or it could be just somebody that's been radicalized by all the rhetoric that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and Joe Biden and Bette Midler and Cher and pick every other brain dead life form has said. Okay? You could have the same thing. Guy going, he's a Democrat poll worker. Oh my God, there's way too many Republicans voting. I've got to stop this somehow. I'm speculating, but you know, the KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. Okay. You know, this is pretty much Occam's razor. The most logical solution or logical answer is usually the most common one. That's it. Okay. You know, the crookedness in Milwaukee. Oh my God, maybe we saw too many black votes coming in for Trump. We've got to do something so we can do. We'll have them counted later tonight. How convenient is that? We'll count them at 2:00 in the morning. I showed you the clip of the Democrat Party leader in Milwaukee saying that they'd have those counted overnight. Don't worry about it. Right? You know, same time they're bringing in 3 other suitcases. Well, these were just part of those votes we didn't tabulate before. Gotcha. Von Mousetrap. If the Dems take the House of Representatives, can they vote to not certify the election if Mr. T wins? Okay, this is where we get into this slippery slope. Is Jamie Raskin, all right, Democrat congressman from Maryland, who has said over and over and over, it doesn't matter if Trump wins, we're not certifying the election, we're not going to let him in. They're going to have a big problem on their hands. Okay, if they don't certify the election, by law, Joe Biden's term ends at noon on January 20th. Kamala Harris doesn't automatically get the position if they don't certify. It's never been done before. That would be something that the Supreme Court would take up immediately. There's no question. And if I was Jamie Raskin, I would probably invest in some body armor. Or at least in some really good attorneys, that might be a good idea too. Because that's when you would get charged, and anybody that didn't, with treason. And if you don't think that's a possibility with a Republican Senate, because we already know one has flipped, and somewhere between 2 and 4 more are going to, it ought to be quite interesting. But can they vote to not certify the election? Yes, they can. Will it stop Trump from moving in on January 20th? No, it won't. Okay. The Supreme Court will stop that so fast it wouldn't be funny. And then what you'd have is impeachment hearings expedited quickly with a Republican Senate to throw those people out of Congress and try them on treason charges. Jay Myers, I'm sorry, heard earlier she was beyond upset, so that could be a good thing. Yeah, I've seen that on social media today, that insiders are saying that Kamala Harris is panicked about tonight. She's pissed off, everything. That's her personality. She can smile and cackle and say joy all she wants, but you don't turn over 92% of your staff if you're a pleasure to work with. So, you know, her being a bitch shouldn't surprise anybody. Okay, I was just looking. I haven't called that. Ann Palmer, I've had all media off all day, been praying all day. The praying part is good. The media being off, not a big deal. I mean, nothing started happening until 7 o'clock Eastern anyway, so it wasn't like you were going to know anything. I mean, all it was talking heads and pundits spinning their, well, I think based on the way the stars are aligned, and this would happen. We were out talking to people, and nobody wanted to admit who they were voting for. It's not important. That's filler. I mean, this is the downside with these 24-hour news channels. There isn't 24 hours worth of news to report on. Sure, there's plenty of stories, okay? But you really don't need a 45-minute story on the car crash on I-5 somewhere. We got to fill it with something. Good, let's fill it with editorializing crap. And that's what I was talking about in the video the other day, is we don't have news anymore. It's like, hey, you know what? We get more viewers with their editorial, and we rally the troops, and everybody wants to hear what we're talking about. Let's do 99% editorial. We'll do and the weather is, okay, and they get that wrong too. Just going to take a quick flip and see. Nope, nothing new as yet, but do we have anybody closing at 8:30? Of course, this is the other computer that's crashed. I don't think there's anything, unless it's Arkansas. I think Arkansas closes at 8:30. That's the only one. Yeah. Arkansas will be an inevitable red too. So let's see. We'll just do a quick flip over here onto this. Yep, Mrs. P is showing up. She's got something that she found. No, I'm fine. So let's... All right, so let's go back here. And let's take a look at this again. So we know Harris has taken the one long shot district in Maine, no big deal. She took Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, no big deal. Jersey, that sucks that they called that. There was a little bit of hope. Maryland, that's been called. Funny how Delaware hasn't been called yet. Talk about, wouldn't that be fun if Joe lost his home state? Not that we have any reporting in yet, but see, where's Pennsylvania stand? Yeah, I want to look at the counties here. Okay, here's the big one. This one right here, Bucks County. This is outside of Philadelphia. And this is the one that they've been making a huge play for, the Republicans have over and over and over again, about getting people registered, whole 9 yards. If Bucks County flips red, chances are Pennsylvania flips red. Here's the catch. In 2016, Hillary Clinton needed, I think she got 590,000 votes in Philly in the suburbs and lost. In 2020, Biden got somewhere around 603,000 votes in Philadelphia and won. The early voting didn't favor the Republicans, but it was closed down. It dropped from like 1.3 Democrat lead to a 400,000 Democrat lead. Estimates were coming out this afternoon that Kamala Harris needs to get somewhere between 700 and 800,000 votes in Philadelphia in order to win. So it's going to be real interesting to see how good the ground game was for the Republicans. Wow, that's a surprise. I'm really surprised they haven't called Ohio yet, because that's usually pretty solid solid Republican. But if we take a look at it, I mean, that's practically tied right now with nearly 40% of the vote in. Yeah, Ohio needs to be red. There's no question. North Carolina obviously closing in here. And as you can see, now some of these counties out here that I was talking about before are starting to flip over red. So, and everything over here is still staying somewhat blue. That's pretty normal. Let's go to Virginia. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's go back to this for a second. I don't want the Senate race. I want the presidential race. There we go. 50.06 to 48.26 with a third of the electorate in. That's that was not counted. Virginia could be in play. Now, it's up here that you've got to watch. This is the area right here. If these counties, if London County, if Fairfax County, whatever, are close, Prince William County, I mean, they're not super close. Loudoun's not that bad. This is their blue wall in Virginia. You got to remember, Glenn Youngkin's done a hell of a job in there, and you could have a lot more red. If somehow, some way, Trump manages to flip Virginia, the panic will set in on CNN real quick. I already think the panic is already in on the Kamala Harris campaign because they're watching everything slip away. Let's see where Georgia is real quick. And I keep doing that. I got to look at it this way. All right, he's still up by 11. We've got nearly half the votes in. Of course, Georgia said they're going to take 2 weeks to count it, but we'll see. It'll be close. Michigan's closed. Let's see where the candidates are. There's a surprise. Well, okay, I guess you can't say there's only 1,000 votes in. Never mind. I'll say Wayne County's Detroit. And the collar counties look pretty normal. Okay. All right. So we're not seeing any surprises right now except for Virginia. Virginia is closer than they'd expect. New Hampshire. Why did I do that again? Back to presidential. New Hampshire. Okay. What do we got? 17% in. Still close. All right. Let's get back to Q&A here. Texas is blue right now. Well, Texas, the polls haven't all closed, and I'm not overly concerned about Texas going blue. I'm not overly concerned about Ted Cruz losing either, but that we'll see what happens. But polls close at Texas, and I think out in West Texas, El Paso, that area, in about a half an hour. So we'll see what happens there, but I'm not worried about Texas. Let's see. Sam Carpenter, can I say nasty things about Pennsylvania? Tired of all the shenanigans they've been pulling today. Yeah, I mean, if you saw my lunch video, there were a lot of crazy things going on in Pennsylvania today, and it's really funny. It's like, instantly, we have the wrong ballots. Oh, the machines don't work. And like I said at lunch, it's like, well, what the hell did you do all day yesterday? Should have walked in this morning, turned on the light switches and go, here you go, guys. Everything's perfect. Right? Let's see. Where are we? That wasn't a complete sentence, so I don't know what you were talking about. Trump wins Florida. We got that. Okay. 72 electoral votes for Harris, 105 for Trump. Is that where we are right now? Yep, that's where we are right now. Snow White has spoken. Adam Hoffman, think Lake County goes red in Illinois. All right, now I got to remember. Lake County, isn't it? Lake County is, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that's up? That's the Gold Coast. That's up near Evanston. I think, don't quote me on that one. I'm not, I think that's where Lake County is. I don't remember that well. It's been 25 years since I lived up there. C. Hunt, Michigan still has an extra 500,000 ballots to count before night's end. Well, is that the ones that they're sitting in suitcases out in trucks, sitting in the back alley? Yeah, we'll see. I'm not optimistic about Trump winning Michigan or Wisconsin. If he does, it's going to be a squeaker. My biggest, and I've said this for 6 months, I want to see him take Georgia. I want to see him take Pennsylvania, and I can go to bed. and that's it. And if those two things happen, I know I'm not going to wake up like I did in 2020 and go, WTF happened. Okay, we just talked about that. Granny Grump, the lady at the election center, said today was the biggest turnout to vote in a long time. I'm glad people decided to use the voting box to share their voice. Yeah, me too. And my concern is tomorrow they're going to start using the cartridge box because their voice wasn't loud enough. Let's put it that way. I've told you guys, I am not convinced. You know, it's funny watching gee, we're calling out the National Guard. Gee, we're boarding stuff up. When were we talking about this? 2 months ago, that this is what's coming? And it doesn't matter which side wins. As soon as this race is called, which could be tonight, which might be overnight, which might be in the morning, which might be 2 weeks from now, it's going to get ugly. And this is where, as I said today, all that stuff that you have put away might come in handy because you're going, ain't no way I'm going downtown to go to the grocery store or to go get my prescriptions. Or you'd be like, gee, they took out a transformer. I got no electricity. And you go, flip, lights are on. Kevin Little, oddly, Central New York here. This time, first day early voting, they said I wasn't in the system and had to put me back in. I've always gone to the same place. Don't know if it means anything, just odd. I've got a couple emails today from people that had the same issue, different states, said they voted before and all of a sudden their IDs didn't pull up. And this is what for a couple of weeks, I've been saying, vote early, vote early, vote early. You guys all saw the lines today. I mean, they were talking about kids at Lehigh University standing in line for 6 hours to vote. Okay. This is what we were talking about. You didn't have to stand in line for 6 hours. You could have gone early, been in and out in half an hour, maybe an hour, whatever. Bernie Moreno, the owner of Home Depot, okay, whether you guys know this, 95 years old, huge Trump supporter, died yesterday. Did he vote? Don't know. Okay. If he voted last Friday, his vote counts. If he was waiting to go to the polls today, he didn't get to vote. Okay. You didn't know what was going to happen, and this is why I said the same thing. You didn't know if you were going to walk into the polling place today after waiting in line for 4 hours and go, you're not registered, sir. If you would have known this 3 days ago, you could have taken care of it. Or was it Benjamin Franklin who said, never put off until tomorrow what you can do today? Voting would have been one of those things. All right. We just got this. Arkansas went for Trump. No big surprise. So we're now at 111 to 72. So we still have no big surprises. We will pop that over so you guys can see what's going on here. And there we go. Okay. So that's what the map looks like right now. Well, I guess I could move it over a little bit so you could see the whole thing. That would be kind of me. Best we can. There we go. All right, so that's what we're looking at right now. No surprises. All good. One surprise is all it's going to take. Or, I mean, when we start getting the swing states, nothing right now is overly concerning. I want to show you something else, though. This is kind of interesting. And let me get over to it here. Let me stop that share. The betting markets, okay, where the money is in play, where people are figuring out what they're going to do with their real money. This is what's going on right now. Look at the spike this afternoon. Trump is now up to a 2-to-1 chance of winning. This is where people are putting their money. Make sure you guys can see that. What brought it down here? That was certainly profit taking. What took it back up? People going, there ain't no way this is 50-50. So just kind of showing you stuff like that, taking a look at things. All right, let's get back to Q&A here. Where are we? 8:34. So yeah, we got 26 minutes till anything closes. Do we have anything changing? Trump's up 11 there. We got a dead tie in North Carolina right now at 13% in. That's not good for Harris. Virginia, Trump is up 40% of the vote in. Trump is up 1/3 of a point. I want to go look at this. Virginia. This is all what I'm watching up here, guys. This is all government employees that live up here. Be interesting. All right, let's get back over here. DH says Somerset County, Pennsylvania polling places closed at 10. That's probably because of all of the shenanigans that were going on this morning. So good. Pinball trying to vote out Swamp Snake Senator Sherrod Brown. Well, let's go take a look at where that one stands right now. So let's zip out of there. Let's go to the Senate. And let's take a look at Ohio. And we have 41% of the vote in, and Sherrod Brown leads by about 2.5 points. Or no, I take it back, about 3.5 points. Let's see where the votes are coming in from if we can. Nope. Doesn't let us do that. Doesn't let us do by county. Yeah, because Ohio gets a little interesting because you've got three major between Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Columbus, and then you still got to throw Dayton and Akron in there too. So it's interesting when you talk about concentrations of people. But yes, I'm hoping to God Bernie Moreno beats Sherrod Brown. Norbert Mueller has Fox News already called Arizona for Kamala. After Brett Baer's insult, I guess. I mean, it turned out he was right, but we all know it was a cheat. But who knows? He got himself a new Ferrari out of it or something like that. So, let's see. Gene Blair, I hear there's 2.5 million overseas votes, but 4.5 million ballots. Well, they sure didn't go to the military because the Pentagon didn't bother getting ballots to a lot of our soldiers and sailors that are overseas. Blueberry, in case anybody's wondering. Meemaw. In North Carolina, Dems usually get the big cities. Republicans get everything else usually. Yep, that's it. I mean, you're talking about, like I said before, Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, and Asheville, and the Republicans usually take the rest. The big deal is whether or not the turnout. I mean, this is totally a turnout race for Trump. If all those people that I can't be bothered to vote show up, Trump should win. Okay. And it seems by everything I was watching throughout the day today that turnout was very heavy in most places. The only place, this was kind of interesting. The only place that I saw that turnout was less than expected was Georgia. And the interesting part about that is Georgia has a relatively large black turnout or black population. So if the turnout in Georgia was low, and it turns out it's from the black population. Kamala Harris is in real trouble if she's not getting the black vote. So I'm looking, Fox right now is saying, what are they saying? Kamala Harris is underperforming in Atlanta and the suburbs, which again is exactly what I was just talking about, is she didn't get the black vote, which good. 2 key states, Georgia and Pennsylvania. Win them both, we go to bed happy. Where are we? Let's go flip over to that real quick. Get this on the screen so you guys can see what we're talking about. All right, so Georgia right now, Trump is still up 11 points. Well, I just moved in. Trump is up 11 points. Let's move the screen a little. Take that out. What are we at? 52.5% in. He's up by 11. And my guess, with the exception of them saying that they aren't going to call Georgia for days, they're probably getting pretty close to calling Georgia. Virginia, Trump's ahead, guys. In North Carolina, he's now ahead 6. Let's take a look at New Hampshire. New Hampshire's still not close. Okay, so that's not telling me a ton yet. All right, let's get rid of that again. Towboat Dave, what do you think? If Harris wins and she packs the court, they do away with the Constitution and make Obama king. You know, he always wanted to be king. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay. I know the inflammatory social media people say that Harris wins and she wants to pack the court. She wants to do away with the filibuster. She wants to add 6 seats to the Supreme Court. You know, she wants to turn this over. You know, it's amazing how it's 6, right? You know, because right now there's a 6-3 majority, so she wants to make it a 9-6 liberal majority. You know, so if I appoint a bunch of people here, if those 3 justices now die, we don't know. You know, but no, we're not worried about making Obama king. So, Shelley, there was just an ad during the live. Great. Okay, they're doing. Maybe it's because it's election day. I don't know. I thought I had that stuff stopped. So, okay. Somebody else in commercials. Don't look at me, guys. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that I'm doing this through StreamYard and setting it up here as opposed to setting it up on YouTube. I don't know. Oh, there you go. Sassy Sue, thank you. Pinball, the capital of New Hampshire's Concord, not Manchester. You're right. I thought about that as soon as I said it. Manchester's just a big city. But yes, you're right. My bad. I do make mistakes too. I'm human. I will actually admit when I do that, unlike Kamala Harris. What would you do differently? Nothing. Oh, so everything you guys did in the last 4 years is perfect. Even the border? No. Somebody says Asheville is blue. I said that. Yeah. Asheville's solid dark blue. Okay. Carolyn Food Force says scroll over New York. Let's go back. If you guys are requesting, I will do it. Let me get over to it. And let's take a look at New York. And New York has not reported anything yet. So, it's because the polls don't close in New York here for another 15 minutes. That would be why. All right. That would be why. All right, so let's get rid of that. Strucker Hershey says they're showing Texas at 60%. Okay, let's go take a look at that. Just because it'll. How about that? Now they're showing Trump at 68%. Oh, you can't see that, can you? I can flip through. Do. Hang on, I'll show you this one first. Do. They're showing Donald Trump 68 to 32. Give you an idea how much the betting odds think Trump is going to win. All right, so let's go back here. We will get out of there, and let's go back to the other one. They're showing. All right. You guys can't see that, correct? Yep. Okay. I go back to what I was doing. Too many screens to flip through. All right, so they're showing Trump is up by a little more than 6% with 52% of the vote in. That's probably about where Texas will come in, so that's pretty accurate. A more important one out of Texas is the Senate race. How's Ted Cruz doing? He's up 2.5 points. Okay. So no big surprises coming out of there yet. Rick Scott won in Florida. That's expected. Marsha Blackburn, that good. That's good. Embarrassed Gloria Johnson. I mean, she's down by 500,000 votes. That's good. Gloria Johnson was one of the Tennessee three, if you guys remember. You know, Marsha Blackburn wasn't worried about losing her seat, but Gloria Johnson's a piece of shit. So let's get out of here. Okay. I'm trying to get better at this part, guys. It's just, like I said, too many screens. All right, so let's go back over here. Tony Lawrence, I voted a week ago and haven't watched anything today. Sure you have. You're here. You made that comment at 8:11 and it's 8:45 and I'm a half an hour behind already. So that would do it. Yeah, way behind here. North Ozark Homestead. When I voted here, it was so overcrowded, all 3 parking spots were full. All right, smart ass. Let's see. Jazz of all trades. I'm terrified the Dems will try to steal the election again. We all are. I think I'm going to go out on a limb saying this. I think that after 2020, and again, you've got to understand, there's a big difference between Laura Trump running the RNC and Ronna McDaniel. Ronna McDaniel was too worried about sucking money to go get manis and petties, than win an election. She liked to see her face on TV. Laura Trump has been a lot better. So the ground game, the poll watchers, I told you guys a story this morning about one county saying they weren't letting the poll watchers in to watch the votes. And within an hour, there was a swarm of lawyers there going, yep, they're coming in. And they were in. Ronna McDaniel will be like, I'm eating breakfast right now. We'll get to that around lunch. NT, hearing that Republicans are concerned about Texas. We just took a look at it. I'm not overly concerned about it. I've never been concerned about Texas. They talk about Texas and Florida. We're going to turn Texas blue. We're going to turn Florida blue. They never come close. Sorry, anything over 3%, you ain't close. DG, hello from Southern Nevada. Local news saying vote counting won't take 2 weeks. We'll see. No issues being reported in Nevada so far. Good. And, like I said in one of the videos this morning, if Texas can count everything in a day, why can't Nevada with what, a 10th, a 20th of the population? I mean, literally, you're looking at Clark County and everything around Reno, and that's it. The rest of the state is very sparsely populated. Vicky, watched 3 fire pumper trucks at the polling place down the street. Lots of white smoke. Guess voting machines crapped out, evacuated, and closed for the rest of the day. I am not knowing where you are, but I heard something like this today too, that there was something going on somewhere. I mean, I can't keep track of everything in my head. Sorry. Where a story came in like that, where there was like a threat of a fire or something like that somewhere, and they chased everybody out, and that was it. And so maybe it's the same thing. Somebody just who said storm chasing gal, Rick Scott wins, we secure the seat. That's actually not that big of a surprise. They're talking about Rick Scott, though I'm not overly thrilled with this, that Rick Scott be the Senate Majority Leader. Better than Mitch McConnell, but I mean, you could pick any of the other senators and they'd be better than Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell's a Democrat. Let's see, Pennsylvania Mama Bear. Here it was quiet, but lots of problems, and the internet keeps going in and out. One other thing, daughter went to vote, and her registration to vote never went through about 3 months or so ago. That's, yeah, and I've heard a lot of stories about that today, that people went to vote, and they're like, you're not registered, and now all of a sudden, you've got to vote a provisional ballot if you're allowed to register that day, et cetera, et cetera. Deborah Brewer, ours was not really busy in Mississippi. We crossed the line for Trump. It was raining really hard when we went. Yeah, not. Does Mississippi even have anything that's, I mean, locally, sure. I'm not worried about Mississippi going red or blue. That's obvious. And then, of course, Congress is pretty easy, but with the exception around Jackson. Yeah, okay. Dobie Farrar, I saw many Trump bumper stickers at the polling place and people saying they wouldn't vote for Harris north of Atlanta. Good. I mean, this is the thing. Biden won, and I put that in air quotes for a reason. Their claim was because there's a lot of people that didn't vote for Biden, they voted against Trump. Okay. If that's going to be the excuse, then I want them to understand, and I want people to think about this. Even if you don't like Trump, you got to hate Kamala Harris, right? If you're out on the West Coast, even if you hate Trump, admit it. Kamala Harris is worse. Okie Forge, there was a local police officer and a state trooper at my little podunk town of Fort Cobb, Oklahoma. News said there were power problems and machine malfunctions in Oklahoma City. Isn't it amazing how it's always the blue areas? Oklahoma City, okay, even though I know Oklahoma is one of the reddest states in, it's still a city. You know, it's still going to be close. I mean, I don't think Oklahoma's not closed yet, so we probably don't have any numbers out of it. Oops, I'm going to go back. President, let me just look. Nope, Oklahoma is closed. Okay. I'm sorry, Oklahoma closed an hour ago. So let's just take a look at that real quick. And share screen. All right, so let's take a look at, yeah. There's Oklahoma City. I believe, don't get, if I'm wrong, I'm guessing the other one's Tulsa. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, tell me. But Kamala Harris won by what, 14 points? Yeah, there you go. The other one would be Tulsa. So that would work. Yeah, typical. It's a city. That's it. The rest of this, I mean, Oklahoma is one of the reddest states there is. So we thought about moving to Oklahoma, just didn't. Let's get out of that and go back here. Okay. Thorn Hillside, where is you on Stafford person? I got no idea what you're talking about. Brushbum, very rural Idaho, very busy Trump. Okay, and Idaho is another one of those you don't worry about. Well, I'm you know what? I'm not going to say that anymore. Idaho used to be totally solid red, but even 5.5 years ago when we moved here, I remember being in Idaho and everybody, don't Californicate my Idaho. And you get all those Californians that were moving up, especially in northern Idaho. So we could see Idaho flip one of these days or not be as red as it was. Delbert Jones, hey, Pinball, in southern Missouri, we had up to 15 inches of rain and had flooding to deal with. Yeah, we're 15 inches of rain, I believe it. So, but if you still got out and vote, that's the thing. I mean, this is what you look at. If the people in Western North Carolina, if the people in Eastern Tennessee, if the people in Southern Missouri can go through all of that, it was pouring rain in Chicago today. If the people can get out and vote and all of that, these people, I don't want it. The line's too long. Shut up. Okay. I've said this forever. I don't care if somebody disagrees with me. If your lazy ass was too lazy to get off the couch and go vote, shut up. You gave up your right to vote. You gave up your right to bitch. Okay. You have no right whatsoever to say anything about whoever wins the election because you couldn't be bothered to vote. Susan Lathrop, worried about Pennsylvania? No problems up here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Okay, gotcha. It's like NEPA. I've never heard of it. We're very rural in my county. Yes. I'm just hoping that all the truth that the Amish were going out to vote in droves was true. Whole Foods lifestyle. First time there was a police officer there and is very busy during a normally slow time. Also had swatting at 3 public schools. Okay, I don't know where we're talking about it. Pinball, Quasar 22. I was at the polls at 7 a.m. to cast my vote for Trump in Manchester, New Hampshire. I'm confident we'll win. Well, let's go back and take a look because I'm wanting to see what happens up in New Hampshire. It still has not been called, which it not being called is still a good thing for Trump. So let's share this. There we go, percent. Share screen. Let's see where good old New Hampshire is. Kamala Harris still leads by 10 points, but we still only have 30% of the vote in. That's surprising. What's taken so long? I mean, there ain't that many people in New Hampshire, guys. What's taken so long to count the vote? All right. We're 4 minutes from the next polls closing. So, Sheila Carpenter, am I drinking the Trump wine? No, I'm drinking the homemade stuff. So this is it. Not quite as expensive. What is it, that conservative dad beer? You can get a 6-pack for $22. Like, no, can't. Sorry, not paying for that. Your beer ain't that good. On the go. In Kentucky, a friend was voting, and the guy with the Harris shirt on waving a gun said, you better be for her. Holy crap. Okay. First off, it's illegal to wear any sort of campaign stuff in a polling place. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't care if you've got a license to carry, it's illegal to carry a weapon at a polling place. I'm hoping that the next thing you're going to tell me is whoever this guy was is sitting in a cell right now. Running Warrior, I'll agree with you there. Anybody that brings Hitler into anything automatically loses. Houston Shores, poll watcher here in Tarrant County, Texas. Okay, if you guys know, it's Fort Worth area. Okay, had tons of people our age that were first-time voters and several that hadn't voted in years. Yeah, so if you're looking at anybody that was, at TCU, maybe at UT Arlington, UNT, TWU, I mean, a lot of colleges around there. Texas Women's University and UNT are up in Denton County, but yeah, just let's hope that when they're voting, they're thinking, that they haven't been indoctrinated by too many years of public education and corrupt colleges. Valerie Ann Rumpf. Voting tabulation machines in various towns in Connecticut had issues. Not that Connecticut was ever in any jeopardy of going red, but can't say what town mayor or local state representatives were too. Okay, we talked about that. Let's see. B.E. Haven Acres. First assassin was ordered from Temu. Yeah, it's about the truth. All right, we are 1 minute from polls closing here, guys. So let's flip over and see where we go. All right, so let's get this in here. Let's keep this up. Let's take a look. Georgia now 64% in. Trump is up by 5 points. We'll take that. North Carolina 36.5%. Trump's up by 4 points. We'll take that. Virginia. This is getting interesting, guys. Virginia 47% in. Trump is still up by 1 point. I don't care if it's 1/10 of a point. If he wins Virginia, that's going to change the world. Pennsylvania must be slow rolling the whole thing here. 15% in. Still, I mean, there's 1 million votes counted in Pennsylvania. Big deal. New York got nothing. Where's New Hampshire? Yeah. I mean, again, New Hampshire's counted 250,000 votes. Okay, here they come. Let's see. And there we go. And we flipped a whole bunch of states. Okay. So New York got called quick. That 0% in, but they've already called it for Harris. Colorado, 0% in. Wyoming, no big deal. The whole Great Plains that all swept. Gee, there's Texas. Okay, no worries. Oh, they're going to take Texas, right? Okay, let's see. We got what? Almost 7 million votes counted. Trump's up 8 points. Yeah. Let's see if they did anything with the Senate in Texas. That's still important. And Cruz is still up by 4. We'll see how long it takes to call that one. Let's get back here. Okay. So what are we at? 178 to 113. And still, nothing has happened the way anybody didn't expect it. We don't have anything out of Minnesota, nothing out of Wisconsin. And Michigan's got 9% in, no big deal there. Gee, Iowa. Come on, Iowa. I thought Kamala Harris was up by 3 points, right? Let's get some numbers. I really don't want to be looking at this same map at 11 o'clock tonight or 2 o'clock in the morning. But, all right. Get rid of that. Keep on going down here. Sandra Kurtz. I wonder if you're any relation to my ex-wife's family. They were Kurtzes too, but not from Pennsylvania. Central Pennsylvania here, and everything went smooth. My daughter saw someone going in to vote wearing a garbage bag. You want to let everybody know who's voting for Trump. Orange too sweet. Michigan, I walked right in, showed my ID, got my ballot, filled it out, put it in a machine, and walked out maybe 10 minutes. Good. Let's hope there's a lot of people that actually did that. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's get back up to as far as I can get. Patriotic Homesteader. How do I know when a state has been called? Well, like I said, I've got Fox on one side, I've got CNN on the other side, and I've got AP up in the window here. So I'm watching to see what's going on. The obvious ones, let's see. No, they haven't called that yet. Just Fox just popped up something on the Wisconsin Senate race between Tammy Baldwin and Eric Hovde, and that's another one that can flip. 9% in Michigan, and Democrats are winning there. Obviously, we got nothing in Arizona yet. Anything else? Yeah, nothing else that's a worry. Nikki Sessiano, someone called the screaming liberal lady from 2016. We might need her again. I mean, if you think about that woman, y'all know the one where she's like this, right? If that woman got royalties for every time her picture was used, I mean, she'd be challenging Elon Musk for richest person in the world. Jay Myers, election times bring out all the psychos in the public. Well, I'm in the public right now. I guess I'm psycho now. Yeah. Wait till this is over, and then you're going to see the psychos come out. Dan T. In Iowa, it's legal to concealed carry while voting. Okay, concealed carry is one thing. Waving a gun at somebody and threatening them on who they vote for, I'm betting that's not legal. Brian Riley, the county that I work for is a bellwether. It has been correct for the last 20 years on presidential elections. It will be interesting to see how it swings. I wish you would have told us the county. We could have gone and looked. Has Pennsylvania been called yet? No. And I figure that's going to, we might not know Pennsylvania tonight. What are they talking about? Georgia. Hang on a second. Okay. Kamala Harris is not getting the same amount of votes that she got in Georgia, in Fulton County and everywhere else around Georgia that Joe Biden got. That's not looking good. She's not getting she's 3 points behind around Raleigh-Durham that what Biden got. So there's 3%, if you will, of the vote that's kind of flipped from Biden to Trump. I'm trying to watch the numbers because I'm not listening to it at the same time, but she's dwindling on both of those. So the trend right now says Georgia and North Carolina both go Trump's way, which is good because God knows he needs to win both of those. So, we still don't have squat for numbers coming up for Pennsylvania. Something's, I want to look at this. Oh, there's a bunch of, okay. There's a bunch of counties that are traditional red that haven't reported any numbers yet. Okay. All right. I'm not worried about Pennsylvania yet. Trump's odds in the betting markets right now are at 67%. So that's a good thing. All right. Moving on back here. JD Marie, what interactive map am I showing? That is on Fox News. You can also go look at the one on 270towin.com. So kind of watching both of them, but the one I'm showing you guys is the Fox News one because I can look at the counties. Fox is behind RLRL. Fox is behind Newsmax is on top of it. That's why I've also got AP going. So, Storm Chasing Gal, Camel Toes people said she's lost it. That's what I'm figuring. I want to, when we wrap this up, because we're not getting anything surprising. This is going to be a long, drawn-out deal. We'll probably wrap this up relatively soon. I want to start watching to hear what CNN says, because it's not necessarily what they're talking about; it's their tone, and you'll be able to tell real quick. If they're all excited, they'd be winning. If they're starting to make excuses, then you know which way things are going. Talking about Michigan here. RFK's got 2,500 votes in Michigan. That's not a difference. The interesting part is you're getting, let's go look at Michigan real quick. Get out of that. Let's go up to Michigan. That's okay. Wayne County. Yeah, see, this is Washtenaw County. It doesn't surprise me. The Wayne County numbers are way off. Again, Detroit, Oakland County, that's about right. The deal is this: all this area in the upper part and all this area in the UP hasn't got, this will all go red, and everything up here will all go red. There's just not enough votes in Michigan right now to say what's going on. But Fox is already talking about there's worry in Michigan. So okay, we'll take it. Looking for comments. Here we go. Shay Simmons, I'm going to need to be thoroughly intoxicated, shall we receive a Kamala win, and twice as inebriated when Trump wins so I can handle the excitement and celebration. There you go. As somebody asked earlier, what was the drinking game word for the night? No. It's Anna B. Why can't we turn New York City? Simple as that. I mean, it's like, why can't we turn Illinois? It's Chicago. I mean, if we even, let's see how correct I was on Illinois. Let's share that again. I know I'm driving you guys nuts with going back and forth to the maps, aren't I? Back out of this first again. There we go. All right. So there you go. You've got Chicago. Somebody asked about Lake County. Yeah, there you go. No, Lake County's not Evanston. No, it's still okay. I was up in the right spot. Down around Springfield, and then no, this is Sangamon County. I don't know if that's anything. Then down here around St. Louis, that surprises me. Okay, but I mean, this is what decides Illinois. That's it. The rest of the state, barring Springfield, okay, is going to be red. It's no different. Even if we go back and look at Massachusetts from my time there, let's take a look at Mass by the counties. Wow, that's a surprise. We must be very early in the count. Because usually you get out west of Boston and it's all red. So this must, oh yeah, it's still way early. No, it's surprising. No, it's surprising. Massachusetts is going a lot more blue than it was even when I lived there. Interesting. All right, Massachusetts has gone totally corrupt. Sorry, guys. All right. Back here. And how do we lose the feed? Let's try this again. Bear with me. I just lost my feed. There we go. Okay. Trump wins Louisiana. Okay, not a big surprise there. Yeah, it's when we call the first swing state. That's what's going to make. Yeah, there's a good question. Edwin Ash, what's taking Ohio so long? And no surprise, Hamilton County's blue. That's Cincinnati. Franklin County, that's Columbus. No surprise. And Cuyahoga County, that's Cleveland. You got some along the Pennsylvania-Ohio line that are leaning blue. Where are they? They are, I bet I'm not sharing this either with you, am I? See, I forgot. Sorry. Hang on. Okay. So Hamilton County, that's Cincinnati. Franklin, that's Columbus. Cuyahoga County, that's Cleveland. The rest of the state's going to be red. But the question is, where is the state as a whole? Yeah, why they're not calling Ohio, that's a surprise. It's a 9-point lead for Trump with more than half everything in, and the Democrats' strongholds have already told us which way they're going to go. So usually the rest of Ohio goes red. They should be calling Ohio soon. Anything in Ohio or Iowa? Yeah, they're still slow. Wisconsin, that's interesting. No, 1% in, no big deal. No big deal. Michigan, Pennsylvania is still slower than molasses. Virginia, still close. And North Carolina. Okay. How about Minnesota? This would be the ultimate insult. If Trump could pull off Minnesota, Tim Walz's home state, when's the last time a Republican won Minnesota? Because you got to remember, when Reagan beat Mondale 49-1, the one was Minnesota. So you're probably going back somewhere to Richard Nixon, maybe, and I can't even tell you how long it's been since Minnesota's been red. Sheila, let's make a pot of coffee and stay on. Best news channel ever. Wait a minute, what? Hang on. Oh, wait a minute. Cori Bush didn't even win her primary, so she wouldn't even be in. Let's go back over there. Missouri. Cori Bush was in the House. All right. As I say, Cori Bush lost her primary, so I don't know what that comment was. Trump has won Texas. We knew that. Let's see. Who's your daddy? Let's give the blue states to Canada. I bet there's a whole bunch of people in Canada that are praying to God that Trump. There was a great comment that somebody posted on Twitter. It was a good joke. He goes, "Oh my God! If Trump wins, I'm moving from Canada to the United States." It's like, that's perfect. DH Pennsylvania local news says it'll be days until all the votes are counted. I know they've said that, that's the only way they can try to do the steel to it here. You know, you got Pittsburgh, you got Philadelphia. I mean, Harrisburg's not that big, but it's still how has Texas already got all the votes counted? I mean, Pennsylvania right now has counted 1.46 million votes. Texas counted 7,300,000, and they're done. Somebody explain that to me. And I mean, you know, it's not like Texas was a blowout. 7,300,000 votes, and Trump won by 10%. Okay. Pennsylvania's counted 1.4, 1.45 maybe. And the margins aren't drastically different right now. They should be able to count them. Janet Forster, I really make this enjoyable. I'm trying to pay attention like you guys are. It's just fortunately for me, I pay attention to crap like this all the time. And so I know who the senators are. I'm not going to say the representatives because there are way too many. I mean, you're not going to memorize 438 congressmen in their districts. That's senators I got down. That's most of that's not a problem. Shay Simmons, I hope that white and black shirt you're wearing is lucky. It's not white and black. Actually, it's red, white, and blue. So I wore this on purpose because it was red, white, and blue today. So let's see. Pennsylvania local news said it'll be 2 days until all the votes are counted. Yeehaw. Like we didn't have enough stress going through all day today waiting for this. Now we're going to sit there and wait. One state. Well, we counted 4 more votes today. You know, it's like Dixville Notch reported we got 6 votes and it was 3-3. And that's all we did today. Let's see. Guys, I think I'm going to go to 9:30 and we're going to call it. Autumn West, how's Kerry Lake doing in Arizona? We do not know because the polls haven't closed in Arizona yet. I don't believe they close for, what was it, 9:30, 10 o'clock? No, polls are closed. Let's see. I'm sorry. Polls are closed in Arizona. There's nothing reported yet in Arizona, so I got nothing. Father Duck, how anyone in their right can even think of voting for that effing witch? You're preaching to the choir, brother. Buzzard, proud to be garbage tonight. I will be a lot prouder to be garbage when there's that big thing on the screen that says President-elect. Then I'll be happy. AD Sunshine, I wore a royal blue sweater today accidentally. Voting place, everyone is looking, assuming I was supporting blue. Jokes on them, red all the way. Yes. It was kind of like Jill Biden out there in her red dress today. It's like, you are that stupid, aren't you, Jill? You're a doctor. I wouldn't trust you to pull a splinter out of my finger. Addicted to learning. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Arizona is still too close to call. Yeah. It's going to be a while. Kathleen, Wyoming, Louisiana, South Dakota called for Trump. You got all those. North Dakota, a whole bunch of them there. Where are we on the electoral vote right now? We're 195 to 113. So, and we still have not called New Hampshire. I'm going to refresh this. I want to see maybe. It's funny how there's no results coming in all of a sudden. The numbers are just staying the same. I mean, let's go over here again. I'll show this to you. All right, let's look at Georgia. Trump is up 5 with 71% of the vote in. And oh, look at this. Gwinnett County. Where's Fulton? Here it is. Okay. They're going to call Georgia. They should call Georgia soon. With 75% of the vote in Atlanta and the collar counties, and she's down by 5 points, you can pretty much bank that Trump's got Georgia. That's huge. North Carolina's tight. It's starting to shape out a little bit more. I'm betting some of these blues are going to turn red here pretty soon. Probably, yeah, Sammy, you look at this, like Pitt County, that's 5,000 votes. That's not a big deal. That one's huge. Yeah, some of these counties are going to be standard. Some are going to flip. I mean, this'll flip. That's Asheville. Haywood County, I'm not sure about. Let's get out of this one. Let's go to Virginia. That's going to be the fun one. See what I mean about? I said this before, but Virginia. Okay. This whole area here. I mean, she's smoking up here, no problem. I mean, she's 2 to 1, 3 to 1 ratio. This is what right here is what turns Virginia, because these are all the people that work in Washington. If these close up, Virginia is too close to call. Obviously you're looking at that. It's less than a point right now. That's got to scare the crap out of them right now. If you're looking at Virginia, where you've got, these aren't that good, 53% of the vote in, and she's losing, that's not positive. And New Hampshire is not moving. But even then, that's in New Hampshire, a 30,000 vote difference, that's a lot. So, but Michigan, 12% in. Wisconsin, 7% in, no big deal. Minnesota, 0.22%. Yeah, that'll work. Yes. All right. Pull that back out. Let's go through the last bit. That Mark guy, are you and Elliot going to do a slightly used voting machine giveaway? There you go. What'd you say, Annie? I said that's fine. Yeah, I thought it was funny too. Father Duck Fox is trying to mess with the results for Trump. That doesn't surprise me, though. I mean, Brett Baer did it last time. You got to remember, Paul Ryan is on the board of directors, and he's basically the one running the show, and he's a never Trumper. So it's like Fox running all these stories for the last couple of weeks about how Kamala Harris is on a path to victory, right? Running Warrior. I want to see Rachel Maddow cry. You and me both. I want to see George Stephanopoulos cry again. Or Martha Raddatz. That's it. RLRL, Trump 194, Harris 95 electoral votes, 50% in. All right, let me show you something here real quick. Hang on. Too many screens open. And share screen. Share. Remember this one? This is the betting odds. No, it's actually come down from 74 to 73. Kamala Harris is, well, now it's back to 74. People are thinking Trump's going to win this one. So, yeah. Let's get back over here. Where are we at? Yeah. 75 more EVs to go, guys. That's all we need. Michigan lifestyle, NBC News. You should watch the expressions on their face. Their eyes are bugging out of their heads. I'll bet you they're looking at some of these county numbers. I mean, granted, I'm not a pro at this, okay? But knowing what counties and things like that, some of the stuff to look at just from history, these guys make a career out of it. I don't. But when you then look at betting odds and you look at how she's underperforming in cities and underperforming with blacks and not doing as well as Biden, the writing's slowly coming on the wall. I'll say this. The media, as usual, has got it wrong, okay? The race is close, but social media was a lot more saying that this was going to be over quicker than they thought. RB, you just want to see the talking heads on CNN cry. I want to see the talking heads on CNN being the unemployment line is what I want to see. Von Mousetrap, if Mr. T doesn't take Pennsylvania, what will he need to win? Okay. Pennsylvania's got what, 19 electoral votes, if I remember correctly. So if Trump doesn't win, I mean, and again, we're going to assume that he takes North Carolina. Let's just say that. Okay. Trump would need to take he would need to take, if he does not win Pennsylvania, he would need to take 2 of Virginia, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nevada. So Trump's got more options than Kamala Harris does by a long shot. Kamala Harris needs the blue wall. If she loses one state up there, she's in trouble. There's still paths for her, but they called New Hampshire for Kamala Harris. Okay. What, 2.5 hours after it closed? Okay. So that doesn't surprise me, but it lasted quite a bit. Trump's now up 2 points in Virginia, 4 points in North Carolina. What's he up in Georgia? 5 points in Georgia. Okay. Arizona, they haven't done anything yet. Ooh, that's an interest. There's a few people that said that New Mexico might be in play. Not that there's a lot at 11% in, but Trump's not that far behind. He's only 4,000, not even 4,000 votes behind. That would be a real curveball too. No, just like New Hampshire, if she lost New Mexico. But no, to answer your question, if he lost Pennsylvania, he's going to need to pick up at least Nevada and either Michigan or Wisconsin. Any of those are possible, but Kamala Harris needs all 3 now. Now, with New Hampshire being called, if she wins this, not like there's a big risk of her losing Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii. We'll hypothetically say that she wins Virginia and Minnesota. She needs the blue wall. She needs to win the states that she's expected to, and she needs to win Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. If she wins all 3, she would win. But she's got to carry New Mexico, Minnesota, and Virginia as well. So she's not out of it. This is not the landslide like a lot of people were calling. The betting odds may be a little bit optimistic right now. Right now, if I was looking at this, I'd say Trump's got a 2-to-1 chance of winning. Okay, just because, like I said, if he pulls Georgia off, which it looks like he's going to, he's got multiple ways to win. She's got literally one. Yeah, now Trump's at 75% on the betting odds. Okay. Ashley, ABC is freaking out over North Carolina. Okay. I don't know why. I love when they throw out these things at the last. North Carolina is a swing state. Barack Obama won North Carolina. He's like the first Democrat to win North Carolina in forever. And he won it by like 0.2 of a point. And it's not like Trump has lost North Carolina. He won both with Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. I don't know where they're getting the idea that North Carolina was a swing state. They always want to talk about it. They never win it. The only time Barack Obama won, I mean, it was a squeaker. Father Duck, why are they projecting when 100% of the votes are not in on each state? What kind of crap is this? Actually, it's called statistics. It's called statistical probability. Okay. And so you can look once you've got a sample size to figure out if you're going to be within 95%, 99%. Trust me, I hated statistics in college. Okay. I had to take it twice. That's how much I hated it. 95%, 99%. Once they get up in that 99% probability, they'll call it. Iowa better stay red, Michelle says. I'm not worried about Iowa staying red. Missile D11, it would be great if us Youpers saved Michigan. Tell me about it. Please, do it. Save Michigan. John Morton, 1 drink for every red state, 2 drinks for every blue state with a calling in to work tomorrow morning. Oh my God. Let's see. If it works out like it's normal, it's usually about 30 states red and 20 states blue. So that would be 70 drinks tonight. I wouldn't be worried about calling into work tomorrow morning. I'd be worried about calling into the ER tomorrow morning. Joe Green, dude, you should stay. You could stay on while you're watching the numbers come in. This is historic. Why not stay on? I know, but it gets tiresome. I got to remember. I mean, I've now been going for 1 hour and 40 minutes. And all I'm doing is talking. And it's not like my kitchen chairs are exactly comfortable. Essential Tan Pinball, you're killing the report in the line stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Minnesota and Maine show Trump leading. Yeah, we're still early. Leacham Figaro. I'll give it a shot. I'll bet everything west of Schaumburg is red and north of there is blue. Yeah, I'd say and I know Schaumburg, for you guys that don't know, Schaumburg is a suburb of Chicago. It worked out there for a while. Couldn't tell you there was an office building that was just across the street from the mall over there when I worked. That was just off of 355. That's where I worked. So who knows? And that's going back 30 years. Jeannie's Beanies. I have to be in for a mammogram and a chest CAT scan at 8:15 in the morning. 2-year cancer survivor. Congratulations. I have a feeling I might just pull an all-nighter. I'm going to stay up as long as I can, but then again, you know me. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. So, this is usually about bedtime for me, but today's an exception for a day. So, all right. So we're all good. Well, we lost about 1,000 people when I left. Okay, but all right, we're here. So see if people come back or not. Oof. All right, so not a whole lot of changes. The betting odds now have Trump at 76%, 78%, so they're still going up. No new votes in, but we have the last polls, well, not the last ones, but a lot of the West Coast closes here in, well, let's see, what do we have? Nevada closes, Utah closes, was it Montana closes? So we got a few more here. No numbers out of Arizona yet, which is kind of frustrating because, well, yeah, the polls are closed, so that's it. But I'd love to see some of the senatorial races come in too. Be interesting to see how Montana comes in. Let's see what we have. Let's flip this over so you guys can kind of take a look at it here. Okay. So if we look at Senate race here in Ohio, Bernie Moreno is leading by 150,000 votes. That would be huge to flip that seat. Let's see. Michigan's not looking great, even though it's 14% in, but Alyssa Slotkin's winning by what? 50,000 votes. Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin with 31% in. That one's close. Yeah, we'll see. Those are still iffies. Kerry Lake, we probably have no numbers on. And Tim Sheehy, we have no numbers on. Okay. Montana in the Senate, is going to be almost certainly going to flip. The other three, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, are, if we get two out of that, that would be huge. One out of those three is more of what I expect. So we'll see what happens. I'm not even going to go into the House. The House could be, this is, you look at this map, and this is, if I can get it to pull up. There we go. This is just crazy trying to figure all this stuff out, But, and then there's your one blue dot where Steve Cohen wins in Memphis. Moron. He's like the one person in Tennessee who nobody can stand except the people in Memphis. All right. So let's get back to that and go into what we're doing. Jenny, Newsmax has called several states that Fox hasn't called yet. Well, I don't know. I can go look at Newsmax over here, see what their map looks like. I more worry about what the AP calls because that's pretty much. No, I don't see Newsmax of calling anything. Well, they've called North Carolina red. Let's see if I compare the two. Let me look at it here. Whoops, let's get back to presidential. The only one that Newsmax has called, two. They've called North Carolina for Trump. They've called Virginia for Harris. And then they've got a whole bunch of leans, which I don't buy, because they're saying, Newsmax is saying right now that Harris is leaning in Iowa, which I don't buy for a second, that she wins the entire blue wall. I mean, what Newsmax is calling right now would be a Kamala Harris victory. Yeah, so if they're right, more power to them, but I'm not buying that whatsoever. You know, and to say that they've won a state, if North Carolina went red and Virginia went blue, not a big surprise. That was expected. But I don't care about leading. I mean, when they say, oh, Kamala Harris is leading in Michigan. Well, yes, she is. 15% of the vote is in. When she's leading in Wisconsin, according to Fox, that is literally within 68 votes. I mean, by looking at it right now. I mean, at 561,000 apiece, 68 vote difference. Pennsylvania is within 33,000 of 2.7 million counted. So yeah, those, you can't, I don't care about leading, because 40% of the vote in doesn't mean squat to me, you know, if it's that close. True heart and intent. Which states do we absolutely need to win? Well, Georgia is an ultimate absolute have to. Okay. There's no question. If Trump doesn't win Georgia, he's FUBAR. Okay. But this is what I was saying before. This is when it starts getting into and now that the map is starting to play out a little bit, now you're getting into what's going on. If Trump wins Georgia, if Trump wins Arizona, he has to take one of the blue wall states. If he takes Pennsylvania, it's over. If he takes either Michigan or Wisconsin, he also has to take Nevada. He's got different paths. Kamala Harris, if Trump takes Arizona, has to take the blue wall. So, you know, the big one, and we've known this for months, you know, the campaign knew it. I talked about it over early summer, is that Georgia and Pennsylvania were the keys. And if he can take, if he takes, I don't, you know, when all these people, he's going to get 320, he's going to get 350 votes, electoral votes. I don't care. Anything after 270 doesn't mean squat to me. Let it be 270 to 268. I don't care. Give us a break. And if it's 269 to 269, which is possible, okay, depending on which way the single districts go in Maine and in Nebraska, if it's 269, 269, Trump's president. Just telling you that right now, okay? Because then the House picks. And but Georgia's crucial. Georgia's a must win. Pennsylvania it's over if we do it. But Georgia is a must win. Who's your daddy? People not looking happy at the Kamala rally. I haven't seen pictures of it. I'd like to, but I got too much going on here to try to pay attention to what's going on. I want to see the screaming and the tears. You know, as I've said a couple of times on Twitter, I want to see Trump be this will sound rude, but I want to see Trump basically say, I'm holding women back because I've kept two of them from getting promoted. He's already done it to one. I want to see him do it to the second one. It's being snarky. See how that pans out. Jim Scott said 6 minutes ago, 81 Harris and 162 Trump from ABC. That'll tell you how far behind they are, because right now, the way the Electoral College reads after 10 o'clock, because Montana's been called, Utah's been called, it's now 205 for Trump and 117 for Harris, and still no surprises. Let's see if they called the Senate race in Montana. That would be interesting. No, they have not. Okay, not a big deal. Trump's odds right now. Let's show you this one. Present. Share screen. Here you go. How do you like that? Trump's odds right now in the betting markets are at 84%. So it's interesting because, let's see, this is the bottom right there is 6 o'clock. That's where the first polls started closing in Indiana and Kentucky. So, yes, Trump is gaining quickly on winning. All right. Let's see. Mitch B, next poll closes in 5 minutes. Okay, all right, that's 5 minutes ago. I was like, wait a minute. Amy, if you want ads, we don't mind. We just tell you because we thought you did. I don't want the ads on here. I've already sent an email to YouTube going, what the hell? I don't have, I don't do it. The only thing I can think of, and it's possible, I haven't got a response back from YouTube, obviously, I'm not looking at my emails, is because I set this up through StreamYard and I might have screwed something up. That's possible, okay? Because in order for me to share screens and stuff like that, I can't do it through YouTube. And because I know I've got to shut them off when I set up the normal live streams. There's no way to do that. It might be me. They might come back and say they were turned on. I don't know. So, but I sent them an email saying, why do I have commercials on here? Storm Chasing Gal, Trump favored in Wisconsin. Well, let's go look. Trump is leading in Wisconsin with 36% in by 1.16%. Still not anywhere near that's going to get called, but okay. They're calling Virginia blue. Well, okay. Who is they? There's my question. Because are we sharing this? Am I sharing this screen with you? No. If they're calling Virginia blue, that looks okay. Let's see what overall the state is. Oh, come on, Pinball. There we go. 61% of the vote is in. Trump is up by 50,000 votes. I don't know who's calling. I mean, Newsmax called it blue, and I don't know how. Let's see. Newsmax is showing What's the comparison? Yeah, Newsmax's figures are old. They're showing Trump with 1.37 million votes, where Fox is showing at 1.45. Kamala Harris at 1.36, where Fox is showing at 1.40. AP is not called Virginia, so Newsmax is jumping the gun on that one. But Newsmax has lost a lot of credibility here in the last couple of years. So I'm not, a lot of their stories are crap.
Trump is ahead in Pennsylvania by 0.5%.
Oh, there you go. Mrs. P just told me Trump is ahead in Pennsylvania. So we take a look at this. I want to make sure you guys can still see it. Yep, you can. Okay. So if we look at PA, 49.82 to 49.27, we have 45% of the vote in. And we have a whopping, 18,000 vote lead for Trump. Now, again, this goes back to what I was saying before. To overcome the early voting, Kamala Harris needs to pull about somewhere between 700 and 800,000 votes in Pennsylvania today. She needs overwhelming an overwhelming amount of people to go to the polls in Pennsylvania today. That's not normally what happens for the Democrats. At 45, if this was at 65%, I'd be pretty stoked. Right now, 1% is way too freaking close to call. But I'd rather be 1 point to the plus rather than 1 point to the minus. Michigan's within 30,000 votes. Wisconsin, Trump is up by, at 40%, he's up by 20,000 votes. Oh, come on. I want this one just for the Timmy, you like something up your ass, shove this stick up your ass. Nothing would make me happier than to see, besides Trump winning, is to see Trump win Minnesota and just take that lying, stolen valor sack of shit Tim Walz and say, you couldn't even carry your own state. Iowa, now we're starting to look a little bit more like is expected. Trump is ahead. See what New Mexico's like. Look at that. Not that there's a whole lot of voting. That's 21%, but Trump's ahead in New Mexico. Do we have anything? In Arizona, we finally have numbers. Dead tied, huh? Yeah, within 40 votes. Okay. Georgia, are we going to call it yet? 81% in. Brett Baer, where are you? You can't call it at 81% in? Georgia's looking really good. I think we said this about 15 minutes ago. 52 to 47, up 5 points or what? Better than 200,000 votes. That's pretty good.
Trump is ahead in New Mexico, I believe.
Yeah, I just talked that one, honey. North Carolina, Trump is now up 150,000. We'll take that at 68%. Virginia, he's still at, Virginia, this is funny. Virginia is polling like they expected North Carolina to poll, where it was going to be super tight. I mean, we're talking almost 2/3 of the votes in, and Trump's in there. This would be devastating if they lose Virginia. Devastating to them, to the Harris campaign. All right. Let's get back out of here. It was a long answer to the CE Gans. They're calling Virginia blue. I wouldn't even be anywhere near calling Virginia blue. How did I do? Oops. Oh, that wasn't smart there, Pinball. There we go. Got it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, a few of you guys are saying I have Newsmax on. Newsmax is losing credibility with me quick. I mean, the Virginia call, I think, is way too early. I mean, again, maybe they're right. Like I said, Brett Baer was right 4 years ago calling Arizona. Don't think it was the right call to do it that early. Jacobs is Poly Market as Trump at 83. That's exactly where Kalshi has it's bouncing on 83, 86, 84 in that sentence. So I don't know. I'll take some profits here this evening, maybe. Yes, I do put my money where my mouth is. Nodak, something does not feel right with this election again. Yeah, I will agree with you there. This is kind of the feeling that I had 4 years ago, where it was like, okay, it's getting late, things are looking good, we're ahead, and then wake up in the morning and go, huh? We'll see. So I got a feeling there's going to be a lot more people staying up late today, or standing outside the polling places or where they're counting the ballots going, I'm staying. Don't tell me you're closed. I'll stay here. I'll go get a cup of coffee and just stay here. I'll supervise to make sure that no water leaks happen. True heart and intent, praying for libtard tears. You and me both. Sheila's drawing, crafting, and quilting. Trump wins Missouri. Yep, not a big surprise there. I mean, Missouri's probably in the top 5 for red states in the country. Let's keep going here. And gee, I just got to the comments from 10:01. I gotta get caught up, you guys. All right, let's get down closer to where we are. Michigan lifestyle. Only big cities, Grand Rapids, Lansing, Detroit are going blue. The rest is red. And that's like most states, okay? I mean, again, like I talked about Chicago or Boston, Tennessee. I mean, Nashville is red. Memphis is red. Knoxville is red. Tim Burchett, my congressman, right? I read a comment today, somebody bitching about Tim Burchett. It's like, oh, you don't represent Knoxville. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. He represents Union County and Claiborne County and Granger County and like half a dozen different counties. We don't give a shit about the shit tards in Knox County. Okay, you aren't the only ones that matter. So, that's any state. I mean, look at Texas. Houston, Dallas, Austin, blue. Pick something. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I if you're from Wyoming, tell me. I mean, does Cheyenne vote blue and the rest of the state vote red? It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, that's the reddest of red states, But even then, we looked at Oklahoma City, an hour ago or so, and Oklahoma City goes blue, Tulsa goes blue, the rest of Oklahoma goes red. Nobody ever campaigns in Oklahoma because they know that Democrats have no chance of winning Oklahoma ever. I mean, I don't know when, who was the last Democrat that took Oklahoma? Thomas Jefferson? I know Oklahoma wasn't a state back then. I know. I'm just joking. Before anybody gets silly on me. True heart and intent. Virginia's leaning red right now. Yep. Pennsylvania Mama Bear getting close in Pennsylvania. I'm hoping. You guys done. Give me Georgia, give me Pennsylvania, let me go to bed. That's it, and let me pop, make mimosas in the morning. That'll be about it. Motimer, Pinball, I have enjoyed this election coverage more than I have any MSM coverage. I don't know what the snarky comments help. I'm not in a suit. I mean, I could have. Turn over, look over here, and it's Sean Hannity. It's like, I really don't care what you have to say. You're worried about how am I going to make sure that I grease the palms of the guy. Don't give a shit. our life, RM life, maybe. I've only seen 2 ads since we started watching it. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I apologize for that. I mean, if they threw 2 ads in here and I screwed up, my apologies. Okay. We're 2 hours and 15 minutes into a live stream. You probably see 2 ads in a video. So that's 10, 12 minutes. Kevin Little, still, I have a very bad feeling something will happen. Still praying for the gods for Donald Trump. Oh, trust me, I've had a lot of conversations with my father there, and please save this country. Pintail Drake 2004. When will the riots start? Figured it'll start tonight. Obviously, we're not seeing anything for riots as of yet because no state has gone against what the people thought. Okay. Every expected blue state has been blue. Every expected red state has been red. So there hasn't been any surprise yet. Okay. You know, it's not like the conservatives in Boston are going, what? We didn't win? Let's go burn stuff down. I mean, they didn't expect to win. Okay. They vote because they want to do their civic duty. They want to see the popular vote go. Let me see if I can. What's a popular vote at right now? Yeah, right now Trump is crushing it in the popular vote. 43.2 million for Trump, 38.1 million for Harris. Okay. So he's got a 5 million vote lead. Just saying. When we start seeing states flip, that's when you're going to start seeing the interstate violence. When the election is called, that's when you're going to start to see the intrastate violence. And Trump is now at 86% in the betting markets. 87%. Adam Hoffman, watch Door County in Wisconsin. God, why do I know Door? What? And again, I'm trying to go back. Door County is famous for something. I mean, and don't tell me cheese or beer. Okay. I mean, the entire state of Wisconsin's famous for cheese and beer. But there's something up in Door County. I remember this from when I was in Chicago. It was like people go up there for, whether it was camping or hunting or fishing or something like that. But Door County was always like a long weekend vacation spot for people. Paw Prepper, Fox shows Trump leading in Virginia. Well, that was 14 minutes ago, so that could change. But hey, let's go take a look. Let's see what things have done. Okay. We'll show you this first. Trump at 84%. Let's see if it changes. Yeah, okay, it's going to sit at 84. All right, up now 83. People selling off on this. All right, let's get out of that one. And let's go to this one. Let's see where we are. All right, Georgia, 82% in. Trump is up better, 4.5%. They're gotta call Georgia soon. North Carolina, Trump's still up almost 6%. That's what, 250,000 votes. Take that. I think that's almost in the bag. And we're still not getting any movement in Virginia, Pennsylvania. Trump is now up almost 2 points. which is what, 75,000 votes. This is just getting worse for her in Pennsylvania, which is good for us. Michigan is tight, 17,000. Wisconsin is super tight. That's what, 7,000. Come on, Minnesota, count some votes. Iowa, it's still too early to call. New Mexico, yeah, Harris has pulled ahead, 15,000. Arizona, that could be, well, this could be worrisome. Arizona's got 48% of the vote counted. Kamala Harris is ahead, granted it's 16,000, but Arizona was supposed to be pretty solid. I think the final polls were Trump was up 2.5. In Nevada, we don't know yet. And Maine, Trump should have in the bag here for this part. What's there? And, well, if he pulls that extra seat in Nebraska, that'd be nice. Yeah, it's close. It's not as close as the media wanted you to believe, but it's not as much of a blowout as social media wanted you to believe, which is kind of what we talked about. I mean, we've kind of gone back and forth saying, get out and vote. It's going to be turnout. You know, we got to win this by the numbers. So, Denise Henry says, what about New Hampshire? New Hampshire went blue. Running Warrior, Newsmax, and Drudge are dead to me. Hell, Drudge has been dead to me for 10 years. I think the last time I looked at Drudge was when I was still living in Massachusetts. Old Hippie 60. They've been saying Wisconsin's going to cheat according to their advertising. I showed you guys the video about Milwaukee today. We'll have a bunch of votes come in at 2 o'clock in the morning. Don't worry. That's literally what the head of the DNC said there. Sheila's drawing, crafting, and quilting. Trump wins Utah. Yeah, we talked about that at the top of the hour. Sonny Belcher, Virginia should be red. I'm not going to disagree with you. Just be nice. It'd be really nice to see it turn. Amy, thank you for staying on late. Like I said to Mrs. P when we took the break there, I said, it's not like I'm not going to be watching this. She's like, I know. She goes, but we got to get some sleep. And I'm like, I get that, but I got to know what's going on too. Because I know you guys, you're going to be like, it's 6:30 in the morning. Where's the video? We're like, go to bed at midnight. It's like, yeah, I got 4 hours of sleep. So if I look like hell in the morning, y'all know why. Jeannie McAdams, thanks for hanging in there with us. You're better than any lame mainstream news. I appreciate that. I'm trying to do my best. Obviously, I don't have the fancy graphics and everything that they do or whatever, you know. I got more heart than they do, but that's it. Let's see. Jacob says, Missouri and Minnesota red. I would love to see Minnesota go red. But we have to, let's see, Fox is something. Well, we knew Ohio was called. Yeah, they're just yakking, trying to fill time now. Okay. Jenny, how was Utah called with no votes in? Because outside of the U of U campus there in Salt Lake City, there aren't any liberals in Utah. I mean, and again, I lived there for a couple of years. Utah is about as conservative as you get. Hogan lost in Maryland. Yeah, I kind of figured that was coming. We also lost the governor's race in North Carolina, which kind of sucks. Stand strong. How do people vote for president when they don't draw large crowds? Well, I would say this. I've been to one Trump rally in my life, and that was in Salt Lake City in 2016. Okay. We lived here for 2020. It's not like they campaign in Tennessee. Obviously, we're here now. So, and I'm not driving to Atlanta for a Trump rally or whatever. Granted, it's 4 hours away, but the rallies are fun to listen, but you listen to one, so Trump did 4 rallies yesterday, or Kamala Harris did, I think, 5 yesterday. She did them all in Pennsylvania, but I guarantee it was the same speech 4 or 5 times in a row. I got it, okay? I'm not 5 years old. You don't have to tell me something 10 times. Tell me once, I got it. So I know where he stood, Rallies are cool, but Beyonce or Willie Nelson or P. Diddy is not going to change who I voted for. Lee Greenwood's not going to change who I voted for. Hulk Hogan's not going to change who I voted for. It doesn't matter. You bring Jesus Christ on the stage, maybe that'll change who I vote. Maybe that'll change. That would absolutely change my mind. Other than that, I don't care that you had Elon Musk. Doesn't matter to me. I'll listen to it. But I'm not going to go, oh my God. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. Yeah, there's a double entendre on that one. Harris takes Mass, of course. Massachusetts, yes. Mass is in church, right? I mean, she come in, she probably catch on fire as she walked through the door. Let's see. Buckeye Dave, AB6 Columbus says Trump wins Ohio. Yeah, that was a little bit ago, so we're good there. Jeannie's Beanies, tell us how you really feel, but I agree with you. Timmy would also be butthurt. Yeah, wow, I'm way behind again, aren't I? Yeah, I'm 20 minutes behind. Let's scroll down. Hey, Dad, thank you for the super chat. Says, can you please tell Robert Bates to stop being so heavy-handed and unban my Inigo Montoya account? Robert, the hell did you ban that account for? Thoughts on Bannon for press secretary, and do you see a spot for Carrie Lake, or we need her for Senate? No, I want Carrie Lake in the Senate. This is the thing. I mentioned this the other day. What I don't want to see Trump do when it comes time for his cabinet is start pilfering the Senate or pilfering the House, because, then we talk about like Elise Stefanik, I mean, very pro Trump congresswoman from New York. Well, great. We have a Republican congresswoman from New York. If you pull her, Kathy Hochul gets to pick her replacement. Gee, what are the chances of Kathy Hochul picking a Republican? No. Trump needs to pick. I mean, he's got. I'm not a Nicole Shanahan fan. Okay, she has. I'm not saying she's not good. I'm just saying I don't know enough about her. But you've got Ramaswamy. You've got RFK Jr. in the right spots. Okay, there are certain places I wouldn't put him. You've got Doug Burgum. You've got Ron Paul. There's some real Tulsi Gabbard. There's some real high quality people that you can put without pilfering Congress. Kelly Ayotte won in New Hampshire for governor. Good. Okay, that's huge. That's good. Okay, I see that. Quasar 22 just said that Kelly Ayotte was won. XRS Pioneer, the AP is looking good for Trump. They just flipped Pennsylvania. Okay, I don't, by AP, if you're meaning Associated Press, that's great. I'm not seeing that the AP's called anything, though he's up 3 points in Arizona, or 3 points in Pennsylvania. But what are we at? We are at 55%. I still need to see that be higher than that. New York Times reporting Trump may win the popular vote. Wisconsin goes to Trump. That would be enormous. Let's see. As for Wisconsin going to Trump, he's still right now. He's up by 23,000 votes and about 1.5%. Popular vote wise, Trump has got 45.8. Kamala has 40.3. So what, 5.5 million votes? That would still be huge. We would take that. Neighbor Bob, did I fire up a pot of coffee yet? No, I'm not one of those people that can do coffee at night. I don't get enough sleep as it is. I don't sleep well as is. The last thing I need to do is put coffee in me. Zara 98, I'm right there with you. Same thing. I'm afraid to go to sleep tonight. Afraid to wake up like 4 years ago. You and me both. Old hippie, Trump won Wisconsin. I don't know where you're getting that. That would be a shocker because they've just hit the 50% threshold and he's barely up 1%. So as much as I hope you're right, I'm not counting on that yet. And anybody that called that's jumping the gun. RL, why the hate for Newsmax? Every other MSM is trash and biased. I'm not going to give you that every other one is trash and biased. I'm just going to put Newsmax right in there with them because Newsmax has a good job of promoting conspiracy theories. And from what we're seeing in the election results tonight, from what you guys had me look at 20 minutes ago, they're jumping the gun on stuff. You can't call Virginia, you can't call North Carolina as early as they did. I mean, news is supposed to be facts. I talked about this the other day. You know, Newsmax is opinion max. Sherry, Florida boss girl. Florida defeated the pro-abortion amendment and pro-pot amendment. Good. Okay. Mrs. P and I had a long conversation about that today about abortion. And I mean, I'm a firm believer in abortion's not a form of birth control. It's, rape and incest. I get it. And she brought up the point. She goes, well, what's to prevent some woman saying her boyfriend raped her? And I'm like, okay, not saying there's anything perfect. But this is my question. I want you guys all to think about this one. I've said this for years. My body, my choice, right? We hear that all the time about abortion. It takes two to tango. What if the guy, the father, the sperm donor, wants the child? Where are the father's rights? Just asking here, okay? And I know you get the excuse, well, he doesn't have to carry the baby. He doesn't have to deliver. It's 9 months, okay? Where are the father's rights? Because without the father, the sperm donor, there is no baby. Okay? What if the father wants to raise the baby? Wants a kid? I'll give you this. I don't agree with abortion for any other reason than rape or incest. But I absolutely don't think that a woman should be able to go into the abortion clinic and get an abortion without the father's consent. Because otherwise, correct me if I'm wrong, that's discrimination. Think about it. Maury Wiley says Ted Cruz won in Texas. Let's go look. let's go see how that one came out. So we will share the screen again. And we'll flip this over to Senate. And yeah, he's up by 800,000 votes and nearly 10%. Then, I mean, that, and Ted Cruz was the only Republican senator, I believe, that they were worried about him being able to hold his seat. And I looked at that and I was like, okay, if he holds his seat, good. If he doesn't, Ted Cruz is the attorney general in 2 months. But so much for my idea for who the AG is. Not that we have to worry about Greg Abbott replacing Ted Cruz with a quality senator, but is what it is. Let's see. And now I'm starting to get tired. Ooh. All right. Don't get excited yet on Pennsylvania. Lots of Philly not reported yet. I'm not getting excited on anything on Pennsylvania yet. Like I said, I want to see it a lot more counted. Pennsylvania is going to be tight. We know that. Highlands Husky, thank you for the super chat. Virginia is red, from your mouth to God's ears, I hope. Let's see. Pennsylvania just showing Trump winning. It, like somebody just said, Philly, a lot from Philly hasn't been counted. How long till Pennsylvania and Georgia are called? Georgia could be closer. Georgia might be called tonight. They might wait till Georgia's up in the 90s, but where was Georgia? Georgia's at, it's Georgia's at 87% in, and Trump's up by 3.25%. They may call that quick. Where was I? Here we go. RLRL. Fox is trash. Tucker proved that. I'm not going to disagree with you there. The only reason I'm using Fox is because I can pull stuff up by county. Okay. There ain't nothing on the mainstream media I give a rat's ass about. You really think I care about Sean Hannity or Brett Baer or what's that? Neil Cavuto. Yeah, there's a speed bump in life. Harold Sanders, is the Google poll accurate? I wouldn't trust Google as far as I could piss in a hurricane. Let's see. Norbert Muller, I have 0 ads using Firefox. It's like me. I use Brave and I get no ads. So that works great. Pray without ceasing. Gwinnett County, Georgia has only reported 17%. That's Metro Atlanta and Blue. Okay. And I give you that. There's still stuff to go on. Are we only at no, Gwinnett County's at 71%. Here, I'll show you this right here. Hang on. Share screen. There's Gwinnett County, 71.86%. So, and no doubt Kamala Harris is, that's okay. Gwinnett County's a suburb of Atlanta, but yeah, I mean, you're not talking about, I mean, DeKalb County is a bigger one, of course. You know, Fulton County is huge. But yeah, you're talking about the suburbs of, or collar counties, if you will, to Atlanta. But if Trump's still ahead, even with this, it's, the more I'm watching this, my confidence is slowly going up that Trump's going to win this as the night goes on. So where Trump is leading everywhere he's, wow, look at that. Trump is up. Let's take a look at Minnesota. Where's Minneapolis down here? Right there. Hennepin County, there we go. Yeah, well, okay, there's no, yeah. Hennepin County, which is Minneapolis, St. Paul. I mean, they've got 1,500 votes counted. Who cares? I'm not getting overconfident by any means, but if I'm the Kamala Harris campaign right now, I'm starting to get worried. This is not looking good for her. So, which means it's looking good for us. So, the state time 85. I don't think there'll be riots because so many folks are sick of this economy. And again, y'all know we've talked about that for the longest time. They can try to push Trump's a Nazi, Trump's a fascist, abortion's the number one issue. And you've heard me say it dozens of times. When it comes down to it, a few days ago, end of the month, first of the month, everybody sat at the kitchen table and go, here's my mortgage check, here's my rent check, here's my car payment check, here's my electric bill. And they go, holy crap. Just a couple days before the election. At the same time, Trump's going, let's take a look at Kamalaflation. And that resonates with people. James Carville said it, 30 years ago? It's the economy, stupid. It's always the economy. The number one thing that people think about more than anything else, it ain't the war in Ukraine. It's not abortion. It's not crime. It's them paying their bills. That's what people, how much does it cost to eat? That's what people think about. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, guys. I'm really getting tired. Let's see. Decision Desk HQ calling the race for Trump 280 to 258. Hey, it works for me. Anything over 270, I'm good with. Eric Paul says 90% on Polymarket. Pennsylvania showing Trump winning. Not yet, but it'd be nice. Clucky's Chicken, Cherry Wine. That was blueberry that I was drinking. Let's see. Johnny Finance, Polymarket's given Trump 67% chance of winning the popular vote. That's what he needs to do. I mean, the electoral vote's what gives him the presidency. The popular vote is what gives him a mandate. So we don't have another Hillary Clinton. I win the popular vote. We need to get rid of the Electoral College. I mean, that'll shut that crap up real quick. It's like, fine, you want to get rid of the Electoral College? I'll win the popular vote too, right here. Gizmo, Door County is the peninsula, huge vacation. I remember the vacation. I just couldn't remember why. Let's see, miscellaneous myths. I drove through Seattle at 6 o'clock Pacific time, so an hour and a half ago. Bad traffic, but still all quiet. It's because nothing's been called yet. I wouldn't want to be down by the fish market here in a couple hours, but that's beside the point. Photo Junkie, Milwaukee's ordering a recount of 31 absentee ballots. I talked about that earlier. Yeah, I mean, that they didn't have a door closed on the tabulator. All right, let's take one last look, guys, and then we're going to call it a night for this live stream because it's almost 3 hours, and I'm going to get a sore throat otherwise. Let's see. So let's run through here. That's a Senate map. Let's look at presidential. 211 to 117 right now. So that means we're still, 59 away? If my math is correct. Let's see. Georgia. Trump is up by three and a quarter with 88% in. That's 16 votes. That would get Trump to 227. North Carolina, he's up by 2.5. with 83%. That's 16 votes. That get them to 243. Pennsylvania up by almost 3. That's 19 votes. That gets them to what, 262? And so that brings it down to Arizona or Michigan or Wisconsin, which are all nail biters right now, because Nevada wouldn't be enough to get over the top. He's got to win Arizona, guys. I mean, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Arizona. That's what it takes. That's Trump's red wall. So, okay. Stop that. Guys, I'm toast. So, all right. Watch tonight. Pay attention. God knows I'm going to. But I'm going to sit in my recliner, put my feet up, pay attention for a little bit of this. And I'll probably see you around 6:30 in the morning. Say a prayer tonight. Cross your fingers, cross your legs, cross your toes. Kiss the dog. Have a good night. Pinball out.